Hey guys, Winterwolf here. A little excited today. Wasn't expecting this, but apparently HBO decided to drop a teaser trailer. I guess it's pretty quick for season 2 of The Last of Us. If you guys like the show and want to check out our thoughts on it, King Z and I did do a pretty comprehensive takedown of the entire show's run. We can check it out in the cards somewhere up here, or here, wherever King Z puts it in. King Z, want to jump in and let's get rolling here on The Last of Us season 2. Because I know I'm looking forward to season 2 of that for sure. Like I didn't
Oh
have a
yeah,
bad
season
go.
one
I had
was
that
quite
some
well. I
complaints,
think
but I thought
we
it was really
we
good.
yeah, they stayed true to the video game. They had a lot of shot for shots. Like they did
Mhm.
a lot of videos where they showed the video game and then the
Yeah,
show, and then
the
I
side
thought it
by
was like
side.
pretty much shot for shot. I mean, that's all you can really ask for. I mean, you can't do the whole show that way, but
Yeah.
you could do you could get some of the key moments, and I think they did that very well in that one.
I think they did too, especially at the beginning and end, when they had that first their escape out of town and they literally showed the truck on the crossroads with like the farmhouse that they passed by as like Atlanta or wherever was burning behind them. And then at the end, some of the stuff with Joel and the fireflies and getting out of that situation, I thought was very analogous to the game. So I didn't have any complaints there. I'm looking at now. You obviously know there's a lot of subject matter surrounding some of the demise of the game one characters coming up that happened in the second game and how they're going to address those issues in the show when and if that's going to happen in season 2. So I think there's a lot of questions on the board. But why don't you why don't we bring up the other third window here and take a look at the Last of Us season 2 trailer?
All right, we got
See
the
what we
screen
think.
share going, and let's hit that play button.
Run it.
Everything has changed since I brought her back.
Did you hurt her? Then what? What did you do? Joel Miller.
Who are you?
I am your consequence. I don't care.
Joel, what happened?
I saved her.
Oh, so that was the briefest of teasers. Okay, what was that? Third?
Yeah.
That was legit like
45
30
seconds. 45
Yeah,
seconds.
all right. So I don't know. For me, not a lot to go on story wise. It looks like if I had not had a fresh view of that show, those are the kind of images I would have expected that they might have could have lifted from season 1. So it looks like tonally and aesthetically, it looks like the same crew is working on the same thing, and it's going to be a nice, consistent transition. No pun intended for those of you that know the game into season 2.
So I looking at the trailer, you can definitely see that there are some once again shot for shots. Like you see the one where's his back, and you see the lights up there, which is the dance where Ellie and that her girlfriend have their first dance together in front of everybody. I think that's going to be that scene, and then also you see where Ellie's hiding behind the tree. If you ever watch the teaser trailer for the second game where they have the one person up and then they break their arms and stuff, I think that's going to be that scene right there. So you can see they're still paying homage to the game and trying to stay true to source as they can.
I think, and that's going to be important for this season. But again, that's going to bring up a massive challenge with what their long-term expectations are and their plan is for this show. Like if they're going to really try to push this into something, obviously nothing can really rival longevity for like Walking Dead for going multiple decades worth of seasons. But if they're expecting like a 3, 4, 5 season run of this show, it's going to be tough because that pivotal event, we're not going to spoil it here today for those of you that only watch the show on HBO. We know more people probably watch this show than are familiar with the games. It was a massively popular hit, on like a Game of Thrones level almost for HBO when this came out. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll be interested to see if they address any of the feedback, backlash, however you want to call it, from the first season where they literally detoured for that one bottle episode. Like they won their awards. Now, if they have that under their belt, can they actually just always have a narrative that they're pushing forward in terms of story without taking those unnecessary detours? That's the only thing I hope that they get right going forward.
And I mean, even we appreciated that episode. We just didn't think it fell into that series. Like we were there talking about like the end. If it was an anthology or something like that, it would have been a perfect story for that.
Yep.
But
side quest, it was a perfect side quest. Yeah.
Because there's only 2 games of source material to go for, pushing this past a third and even a fourth season
Mhm.
might be pushing it a little bit too far. It has a shelf life of a
Yeah.
certain amount of seasons.
I think so, dude. I don't even. I think fourth is really unreasonable given. I mean, the second game sold well up front, but it definitely didn't get the same kind. I don't think it has that same cult following appeal that the first game has. So I think once they tell that story through the second game, and I didn't get around to that second game when it launched. I'm not even sure if gameplay wise, if there's enough there for them to stretch into 2 seasons, because then you run into how much new stuff does the show have to invent to pad out runtime? And that's, I think, where some of these shows based on IP tend to struggle is the stuff they have to add to fill in where the game comes up short or just doesn't address things.
Yeah. The only other thing that we could think of here is that if they had a third game planned and stuff written for it, that they might be pulling from for maybe
That's true.
season 3, season 4. So that's something, you don't know what you don't know on that one.
Yeah, no, and I think the best anybody could honestly talk about a report on there is rumors. I've heard rumors off and on, like you all, and that's not a new thing. A big studio like Naughty Dog forever has rumors on 4chan, Reddit, Twitter, everywhere. But third game underway. Neil Druckmann talking about going to be this, going to be that, and then when he's interviewed about something else, where he goes, "No, we don't actually have any plans for this, that, or the other thing yet." So nobody could tell you in good faith whether there's a third game like even being worked on. I would imagine. But if you guys know differently, let us know in the comments below so we can amend that statement. But yeah, I think it would be a stretch to get more than a third season out of this game. I suspect that you remember when they did that to what was the third Hunger Games book? Was the a third? Yeah, it was Mockingjay, right? Was that the third one in that series, if I remember right?
Yes. Yeah.
So remember how they took the shortest book in that series that wasn't planned to even be written, and then split that one into 2 movies. How well that went over. Like,
And
I can see that
that was
happening to this game.
the trend at the time. Like they did the same
Yeah.
thing with Harry Potter. They did it with Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Trying to expand to get a little bit more movie out of the books.
The word you were looking for was cash grab. They were looking to cash grab by going one more iteration. But I mean, at least with Harry Potter, that last book was always part of the author's plan. You know what I mean? Like the Deathly Hallows was a book that was 900 pages long and had enough that they could string those 2 things along. The Suzanne Collins thing, writing Hunger Games, if I remember right, is the studio approached her and was like, "Hey, we'd really like to put together a third movie. Do you have anything for us underway?" And she had only starting work on Mockingjay, and they still managed to cannibalize that into 2, if I remember the story right on that. But I think that's going to do it for us, guys. Real short teaser trailer. We just wanted to check it out for ourselves. I'm intrigued, but I was intrigued before I saw this anyway, so this doesn't move the needle for me. I was already going to check it out. I'm glad to see it's in January. I had no idea it was coming through in January. I had no idea when.
I
So
think
that's
that
cool.
was
I
the
think that's when it came out last time.
That was
I think it was
the
a January show
biggest
last
part of this trailer is that it said January 2025. So
Right. So cool. So I know you'll be there. We'll be covering it for sure. And if King Z can throw his hands up in the air to point to the cards we're going to put in about our reviews, there it is. There he goes. Yeah, because go back and check out that playlist. I thought we did a good job on that. And I think we were very fair on the controversial episode 3, I think it was. I think we gave that a really fair shake. But we'll check that out, guys. King Z, I'll see you later. Thanks for checking in on short notice, and we'll see you guys in the next one.